only people we used to meet back home in Uganda were people from the British, Americans, Canadians, and that is it. So I met this person and said, I'm from Finland. The first question I asked is, what language do you speak in Finland? And then he goes like, we speak in Finnish. So, yes, there are so many things that attribute to, to success or that make us, achieve those things like the choices we make.
Yeah,
You know, in life, you need to make smart choices. You need to sit down and think and say that, okay, if I did A, where will I end up? You might have different choices, let's say about 5 different choices, but you should always sit and pick the choice that you feel will yield more fruit compared to the other. Yeah. So above all, choice is very, very important. Number 2, you should always have the focus and the determination. By focus, I mean some of us sit back and relax, or we get so contented with the little that we have. But like Smogie asked me that don't I get tired, I came to Finland as a journalist, and I am a journalist, but because I surveyed, I did a market survey of what sells or what was marketable here in Finland in terms of jobs availability. And I realized that there were particular jobs that I would take on, and the number one was the medical field. So I decided to go into the medicine.
I'm trying to give this topic that the course you did and what we are doing, because we're in the same class.
Yes.
And then there's no way it's related now to medtech. How did you find it so easy now to use it to come into the medical world?
Well, the thing is, nothing is easy in life, like I said in the first place. Yeah? But if you know what you want and you have the determination and the focus, then you will achieve anything that you want to achieve. Yeah? I have never seen myself ever as a medical practitioner because first and foremost, I dread blood. When I see blood, I scream, I shout, I fear bricks. I fear bricks, I fear injections. So literally, I never thought I would do that in my life as well. But like the saying goes, when you are going to change, change will change you. So we need to have change for us to move forward. Yeah. So like I told you, I got here and I realized that okay, if I venture into the medicine world, I will definitely get a job, very easily. And that would help me achieve my dreams, will actually put me on a path towards achieving my dreams. Because like I say right now, much as I'm here and I'm put into a certain point, I'm not satisfied yet. Smogie, don't you?
What's wrong with you? Do you want to go to Mars or what?
Not really, not really. But I want to say that learning is a progress. Learning is a process that never stops. You want to better yourself, you need to pump yourself with knowledge. So after this, very soon, Smogie, you will hear that Samalie is now doing a master, probably in nursing. And then maybe after that, I will go and become a doctor. Who knows? But I don't think I have the brains for that, Smogie. What do you say?
I'm just wondering right now, what is the first factor which drives you into this, metamorphosis kind of life?
Yeah. The thing that drives me is the passion. Yeah. Number one is I really have passion for everything that I do. And in everything I do, I try to give it my best. By best, I mean when you get into something, put in your all. Love what you're doing. Try to learn from those that are already there. Try to get as more information as you need in regards to that particular area that you are trying to grow. Yeah, and then also try to watch motivational speakers that speak in relation to that area.
Life or dreams you want to attain.
Exactly. But the thing that I would say here is that much as some Afropeans, Afropeans, I said Afropeans because in Finland we have a group that we started, I and a group of friends of mine, we started a group called Afropeans, that is Africans and Finnish people living here. Yeah, we did that group to encourage people from back home, people from back home to bring their children and unite and play together so that they can identify with each other. Because when you live abroad here, there are communities where you might see that you do not have people that are like you. Yes, everywhere you turn are basically like the white community. So usually when we do this, when we came up with this, we wanted to unite the families, and also so that they know that they have other children that are actually like them, and that makes them get that feeling of belonging. Yeah, the reason why some Afropeans, lose track is because they lack the focus and the determination. People come here and relax. They come and think that now they have it all. Some people have set their standards very low. And by this, I mean, Smogie, if you come from Africa and probably you were working at a place and you were earning, let's say, 1 million shillings, So when you come to Europe and then start earning about 1.5 or let's say 2 million Ugandan shillings, you feel like you're now contented and you feel like your dreams have come true. So when you set your bar or standards very low, you will realize that it will hinder you from developing or from growing because the standard is very low. I'll give you a scenario. When you come out here, start from scratch because that's where we all start from. For you to fit in. But as you live in a place, I've been here for close to 8 years now. And I remember the very first thing people should always do that will boost them into the area of growth or development is when you go to Rome, you behave like the Romans.
Exactly.
When you get to a country, the first thing that I would advise people to do is learn the language of the community or the country in which you have migrated into. Because when you do that, it's going to give you a sense of belonging. It will give the people...
So that means you're really so certain.
Exactly.
You're very certain with the language.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So once you learn the language, you will then fit in. You will feel like, yes, I'm part of this. I'm part of Smogie. I'm part of, just like now, Smogie, I can lose you a bit. Smogie is in Copenhagen and I'm right here in Finland. I speak Finnish. He speaks Dutch.
Danish,
Danish. Danish. Yeah. So when you do that, it contributes and helps you, like progress or move on to your next level.
True that.
Some people neglect that and forget that when they move to a certain new place, they need to learn the language. They tend to think that everyone understands English and therefore they do not need the language.
So here in Europe, the Afropeans, where we go wrong is first of all being so negative towards the language itself.
Exactly. And then we have that negative attitude towards the language. That sets us back because there's no way you're going to be able to communicate or look for a job if you cannot speak their language. So that's number one. Yeah.
Here comes Smogie, who's not a linguist.
Yes.
Like the way you are.
Yeah.
How will it make it easier? Because now you're talking about issues connecting to setting standards.
Yeah.
What if the environment I'm in Europe?
Yeah.
Like they claim that Europe is, a land of dreams. It makes your dreams come true.
Yeah.
But ain't you having situations where you feel it's just a myth?
I wouldn't say it is a myth because there are people actually accomplished that. There are people that have accomplished that. So sorry, Smogie, go ahead.
I think we had some little technical issue and some bit of some noise, but I don't know whether my producer is really doing some good work there. That's great. I feel now more safe.
All right.
I was just saying that, you've said, setting standards and Europe being, the land of dreams, making it true. But don't you feel we, the Afropeans, we are limited by some, I'll call them like traps in quotes. Say, for example, the language itself, maybe the personal character. How can you set a pace where you feel you have some hurdles to jump?
I will say life has so many hurdles. Life has hurdles. Everywhere we go to, there will be hurdles.
That these dreams are just a myth.
The dreams are not a myth, yeah? They say where there's a will, there'll always be a way, Smogie, yeah? So as long as you have the will to do something, then there will always be a way, yeah? So these people that come here, first and foremost, if you have a negative attitude towards the language, tell me how you are going to manage to live with people whose language you detest or whose language you actually do not want to learn. That alone will make them like, that alone will make people like desist from, from like being with you as well, because you do not want to be a part of them. So when we learn the language, it makes us fit in. That is number one. And then when we fit in, it eases the process of us looking for jobs or actually furthering our studies. I studied nursing here in Finland, and I did it in Finnish. So you can imagine, Smogie, when we're back home there, biology wasn't my piece of cake.
That's why it's really so disturbing how you entered into
study. I had to study the damn biology in Finnish. But like they say, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Yeah,
I love that.
I know, because I know what I want, and because I know what I am looking out for, I had to put in. It is hard work. It is painful. You have to sacrifice. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes sleepless nights. It takes it takes a lot of things. It takes the fun away. You won't have time to actually, hang out or go to visit Smogie in Copenhagen, or you won't get time to go to club every now and then, because you always have, assignments, you have things to read, you have to. So it gets crazy. But like I said, if you know what you want, you will bear, you will take in, you will persevere. And at the end of it all, you will have a smile on your face. Much as the road was rough, you do achieve in the end.
Wow. I love the submission, actually, because I'm learning very many things from you, because if transition isn't really painful, that's according to what I'm seeing. If transition actually is not painful, then you ain't enjoying the progress. That's what I'm seeing. But seriously, because
that also depends, Smogie, on what you want. Like I said, if you set your bar low, then you will be there at your bar. You will stay. I've seen people here that have lived in Finland for about 15 years, for about 20 years, but my dear, they have no courage. Because of the fact that in English, I will say that these are people that had a very miserable life back home. And we cannot blame them for that, because not everyone is the same. We all have different challenges in life. Yeah, and such people that were living a very humble life, once they get here, they tend to go crazy, because they now feel like, they've gotten there and no one can stop them. So such people are very content with the little they get. But a person that is ambitious, a person like Samantha, I will always yearn for more. I'll always want to get more. Yeah. So
no matter what I achieve,
Yes.
Sami, once I look at this one as a character of someone, yeah, because now you talk about the background of someone. What if also is a push factor? There are certain people I've seen, they've had a humble life, and by the time they made a transition to come to Europe, it was a push factor.
Yeah.
To make a lot of changes in their life, which are really positive, because of the humble background, which triggered them to say,
yes.
So don't you feel also your humble background can be also another factor? But for your side, I feel it's a character in you.
Well, I wouldn't term it as character, but I think I would call it exposure. I would term it more an exposure than character, because people that are more exposed, will always yearn for more, or they'll always strive for more because they've seen better. They have inspiration. They aspire to be better. But people that do not have that are always okay with what they get. There are people that are blown by the wind. If it blows you left, you tilt to the left.
I get that.
But me, mine is not entirely. I would say, I have a lovable character, and that also, compliments. But it's more. Let's give credit where it is due. We give credit where it's due. So much as I know I have that persona, but it's not entirely on the personality. I've seen people that have made it here in Europe or in the diaspora, people that are very shy, people that cannot even talk, people that cannot speak in public, but they are up there. You know why? Because they have the zeal, they have the determination, they have the focus, and they have the vibe.
I get it, man.
And then Smogie on the other side, much as we're now talking about why people don't make it here, and I've given you those different reasons as to why some people don't actually achieve any of their dreams, we need to also put into consideration that there are some people who struggle, to strive, but because of certain circumstances back home, things like things like having so many dependents on them. I know people that come here and work.
The black tax, basically.
Exactly, 2-3 jobs, and everything they make, like all the money they earn, they have to send back home. All the money they earn, they keep sending back home. So such a person will definitely not grow financially, not career-wise, because first and foremost, Europe, time is everything. Time is money. The more the number of hours you work, the more you'll earn, right? So such a person will use up all their time, to work and make ends meet. And yet some of us that do not have so many, like dependents, or don't have so many problems or baggage, like I call it, we shall go to work, probably do one job, and then spare some time to also upgrade and read. So that is another thing that much as some of them.
Sami, let me ask something. You a married young lady, right? Would that be an impact of your success?
As in marriage? Actually,
being married to a citizen,
I would say marriage is more of a hindrance.
Because I'm being here, and then I say, I would like to have this motivation Sam is giving me. But then her opportunities may not also be like mine. Think about that. Can't I? What if what you're saying is just because for you have a smooth kind of landing as compared to me?
Well, I see where you're driving to, but I'm going to say this as well. If you knew me back home, then you will definitely know that there's nothing that Sami has that's better than you. Because like I told you in the beginning, life in the diaspora is harsh. I call it suffering. It's a life of suffering. Back home, as used to a life where you have maids, you have a driver, you have, as working with National Water, I own 3 businesses. One was on Centenary Park next to Lady Charlotte. And life was good, Smogie, in brief, And by that, I mean, I didn't have to do housework. I had maids, you would just tell them, rice and chicken, and then tomorrow you need to do A, B, C, D. My dear, when I go to Europe, when I go to Finland, I cried, Smogie, for 3 solid months. You know why? I cried because I was like, duh, I have to be my own maid. I need to do the dishes. I need to do laundry. I need to take care of the man. You need to cook food. You need to. So there's nothing. Actually, life as a student is more challenging, than life of a single person that is studying in the diaspora. Because when you are single here, you only have yourself to take care of.
Yeah.
You have yourself to take care of, in that even if you don't feel like cooking, you won't cook because it's just you. Or you can decide to say, I'll go and have a meal at a restaurant. But when you are married, and then on top of that, you have a child, a toddler, you need to divide your time between doing his homework with him, playing with him, and then giving your time to your hobby as well. On top of that, you have your own, like assignments, you have tests, so it is very, very challenging. I wouldn't say that being married, is in any way a bonus. It's actually a detriment, compared to those that are single. So people out there, if you intend to upgrade, or if you're looking to come out here, I would actually, recommend that you get here, do all your studies before you settle down, before you start giving birth, or before you get that responsibility, because it actually tolls down on you.
Let me switch the gears a little bit. You've been talking about now because I was trying to drive you to the advantage of being married to someone who was a Finnish, and then you dragged me back to the roots. But the question is, they claim to say your network is your net worth.
Yes.
Will your network or your network also be a consideration to the push factors that can make our dreams true?
That is very right, Smogie. You're very right on that. It does contribute quite a lot. And actually, on that note, I will say that we should always look at our connections. Let's mind the people that we surround ourselves with, because when you are in a community of people that look at you as their idol or icon, then believe me, Smogie, you're never going to grow. Personally, I look up to people that I know inspire me, at least in one area or another. It could be spiritual growth, it could be financial growth, it could be career-wise, And by so doing, I get motivated, I get driven. I'm like, you know what? How do you do it? I get to sit down with them and say, I really like this about you. How do you do that? Can you please give me some tips on getting there or being better? So that really, really contributes a great deal. When you're out here, let's have a tendency of minding, the kind of circles that we have, because it is the circles that we involve ourselves with that will actually determine our success or our failure. If you are always among a crowd of people that only focus on, clubbing or TikToking, like it is a trend lately, everyone is on TikTok, or people that are always on, people that want to have fun instead of people that are actually looking out for paving their future. Then I would encourage you to run away from them. Personally, I don't have friends that don't build me. If you don't build me, then stay away from me. I know I learned something from you, then I'll bring you closer, because such people inspire me to be a better version of myself.
I love the courage you have in you. One thing, not because I'm a friend, or not because I'm your OG, your former workmate in National Water, but the issue is I like that open heart you have, and then your mind, which is open, actually all makes it worth by blessings following that kind of spirit and the character you have in you. We shall be having a little break, but before we go for a break, I would love to ask one simple question. If they ask Sammy in a nutshell, who is Sammy? If what would define you? If I ask you to define yourself, who are you?
I would say Sammy is a lot. I cannot even describe it in brief. But I'm gonna try to summarize it. Sammy is a people person. I love people so much, and I love helping. I love helping. Sami is a person that that loves growth. I love learning, and I'm inspired daily by people that have made it in life. I love associating myself with things that I know are going to create a positive, yes, a positive impact on me than things that are not going to add any value to me. But above all, Sami is a mother. She's very loving, she's caring, and she's a happy spirit. That's it.
I love that, being the happy soul you are in you.
Yes.
Have you ever gotten even a depression? Because now we're dealing with something connected with Europe making our dreams come true. In your life, I mean, have you ever been in a situation in Finland, in Europe, where you found yourself failing to achieve what you basically? Have you ever been into a depression?
Every season, every year, between November to March, end of March, I'm always depressed. You know, people always ask me, Samantha, you're this jolly spirit, you're this happy spirit. Do you ever get, you know, annoyed? And I'm like, yeah, I do. They're like, when? And then I tell them always that, you know, between November to March, I'm depressed. And you know what causes the depression? It's the darkness. You know, in Finland, we do not see the sun at all until probably the end of March. That is when we start. So you wake up in the morning at about maybe 8 o'clock. You need to have lights on. It is 3 o'clock during day or 2 o'clock. You need to have the lights on. Like we have lights on 24/7. And on top of that, the Finns are they're very closed people. They don't talk. Yeah. And then they're these kind of people that you can say hi to, and they'll just look at you. They're basically not so friendly.
But then if they don't talk, how do you break through? I mean,
you try, Smogie, you know. If they don't open up, you just keep insisting. At least smile, give them a smile, and then, you know, say something to motivate them. Say, you know what, actually I used to be like that back then, but then I just realized that when I smile, I feel better. And then they just burst into laughter. You're like, good, I got them. Yeah. So we shouldn't give up. Yeah, much as the depression, the hustle is real, the weather is harsh, the people are sometimes unfriendly. We should just know that above all that we do, we need to keep our head high and follow our dream and stay focused. Stay focused and just know that with God, everything is possible. For as long as you put in the hard work, you will always achieve. Smogie, before we go, I want to tell you this, that another thing that really keeps so many Afropeans, you know, lagging behind is the fact that they don't have a saving discipline at all. We have
Let's get back from that, because when it comes to a saving culture, it's something which is so interesting. And then in our second episode, the second part, we shall be having some little issue of seeing Samantha. How did she, you know, I've been going through a profile, how she landed into the media space of Finland. And I mean, we shall have more about. Let's just have a little break, and then we shall be coming back. Stay tuned with us.
See you shortly. Bye for now.
Mana tunggu dia